The Dice Odyssey. Hey there, folks. Welcome to the Dice Odyssey. I'm your sheriff, Kasman, and today we're going to be taking a look at a dice-chucking, hidden role-playing game called Bang, the Dice Game. In this game, I'm going to be trying to figure out who is telling the truth to me about who they are as deputies, and trying to weed out the outlaws and renegades that want to tan my hide. Anyway, I think you're going to have fun with this. Let's get it over to the table and chuck some dice. First and foremost, you're going to get hidden roll cards. You got 3 outlaws, you got 2 renegades, you got a sheriff, and you got 2 deputies. Now, of course, the sheriff is already known. The minute somebody gets the sheriff card, they flip it face up. That one's never going to be hidden, okay? But every other card, every other hidden roll card is going to be hidden, okay? So, for example, the deputies, the sheriff has to stay alive first and foremost, or the game's over. That's basically the way that the game is played. I mean, the outlaws and the renegade have to kill the sheriff to end the game. Now, the deputies want to try to do everything in their power to convince the sheriff that they are his deputies, which, yeah, you'll find out. Anyway, the outlaws are going to be trying to convince him of the same, the renegades as well. Now, here's the key. The outlaws, obviously want to try to remain hidden, but their ultimate goal is to kill the sheriff at any time. But they obviously want to try to take the deputies out first, so the sheriff's left on his own. The renegades are a little interesting. They're the ones who might have it a little bit harder because they have to kill everybody else but the sheriff until the very end. They basically want to burn it all down, right? They're all chaotic and anarchists. So they don't, they're going to even at times act more like the deputies than even the outlaws try to act because they're trying to keep the sheriff alive until the very end. If the renegades cannot do that, then they lose. Understand? The outlaws win if they kill the sheriff. It doesn't matter if they kill the deputies or not, they have to kill the sheriff. And if the sheriff, if the sheriff stays alive and everybody else dies, hey, he wins. And the deputies as well if they stay alive. Now, after you've dealt out the hidden roll cards, you're also going to deal out this deck of character cards. Okay, these are going to be random, but the cool thing is they're actually going to be face up. Everybody's going to know who each person is in terms of character. And at the bottom of the character card, it's also going to tell you special powers. Like this guy can make an extra reroll. This person can, each time another player is eliminated, he gains 2 life points. And by the way, that's a key thing. When you look, see this number here, it's going to be different for most cards, okay? Each one of these numbers is actually considered life points. So for example, this person would receive 9 life points. That's going to lead me into this section here. The life points are shown by the bullets here, okay? So that's 3 life points, and that's 1. That's going to be the denominations of 3 and 1. So each person is going to get whatever their character card says. Like, this guy gets 9, we're going to take 9 life points. Now let's get to the dice themselves. They're very nice in quality, engraved. Now let me show you. The way you're going to play is you're going to have a Yahtzee style play. You're going to roll. You're going to have 1 main roll and 2 re-rolls, okay? So you roll, and then you decide, okay, well, that dynamite hit, I can't use that die anymore. That dynamite hit, I can't use that die anymore. So those are dead. If I get 1 more, I lose a life point. Oh, I got a beer. That refills a life point. Or you can even give this to somebody else. Say you want to prove something to the sheriff and say, hey, I'm your deputy. You could actually help the sheriff with this. It refills 1 life point. Uh-oh, I rolled an arrow. Well, guess what? These jokers are re-rollable. But let me explain the arrow real quick. Once you roll an arrow, let's just say I rolled 1. There's an arrow stack, okay? And this is going to be when the Indians attack. When you roll an arrow, you take an arrow, okay? And immediately it goes into your pile. Now, we can now re-roll this if we have any re-rolls left in the main rolls. And use it again, okay? But every time you roll an arrow, you have to take 1. The minute this stack is completely empty, and that means it's gone to everybody at the table. It doesn't just have to be you taking them. The Indians attack, And for however many arrows you have, you take that many hits to your life points. So right now, if this stack was completely empty, I'd take 4 hits to my life points. Ooh, brutal. And by the way, when the Indians attack and all your arrows take your life points, they go back into the stack and it refills and restarts. Now, another thing is, if you roll a 1, that's going to mean you get to shoot the person next to you 1 space away. All right, doesn't matter if it's to your right or left. If you roll a 2, you get to shoot a person who's 2 places away. So, for example, you'd skip the person next to you and get to that other person right after them. If you roll a Gatling gun, by itself it means nothing, but if you roll 3 of these, you get to shoot everybody at the table for 1 life point, and you get to discard any arrows you so far have accumulated. Okay? So that's really cool. And that is basically how you play Bang the Dice game. You keep on going, person after person. People are going to be eliminated once all their life points are out, and the people who survive at the end win. So what do I think of this game? Well, Bang the Dice game has got to be one of the most requested games I get at game night, even to this day. I mean, I don't think I've had a single person that I know of, and again, I've lent this game out before, so there may be some game groups that I've been a part of that still borrow games from me sometimes. They might have had a bad time, but nobody's ever told me. I've never seen this game go flat, ever. It is a raucous good time. It is amazing. I really believe this game should be in everybody's collection, personally. Now, granted, that's my subjective opinion, but if you want to have a great time, this is a game to get. What do I like about this game? Let's start with the components. I absolutely love the fact that all of these components, like for example the dice, I love the engravings. I have been playing with these dice for the last couple of years because we've had it about that long, and they've not worn off. They're just amazingly good quality. Now I will say on one aspect, and keep in mind, we've played the mess out of this game. We have played it and played it and played it and played it and played it, that some of the tokens are beginning to kind of wear off a little, which is to be expected when you're handling those kind of tokens all the time. But it did take a while. This is not something that happened overnight. I'm telling you, we get this game out, the fun factor, let's hit that real quick, the fun factor. We get this game out, and you don't typically just play it once or sometimes even twice. I mean, we've gone 4 or 5 times in a night before because everybody had such a good time. And the cool thing is, the game's so brief, you can sub people in and out, and, you know, other people sometimes just like watching. You know what I mean? This is one of those games that you can even watch and have a good time. Now, couple things I absolutely love about this game. The mechanics. I love the fact that everybody gets their own special power to use, right? Because, you know, you're rolling the dice, it's got that Yahtzee mechanism. I love the Yahtzee mechanism that's used in this and King of Tokyo and so many other games out now. It's such a, you know, it's become almost a cliche mechanism, but it works so well. I love the fact that no matter what, you're going to get something. You know what I mean? Something good usually. Unless you have the most horrible roll in the world and you get all dynamite. That does happen once in a blue moon. But I love the fact that each person at the table has their own special ability. And the other cool thing about it is the dice, while you have, it's a luck fest, granted, there is some mitigatable aspects to it, especially when it comes to those character powers. I mean, for example, one guy uses the dynamite to use, I think it's a reroll. He gets a free, or he gets to reroll dynamite. Nobody else at the table that I know of does, but he does. So see, certain character powers can help you in the long run. And I love a game that makes me feel somewhat distinct from everyone else. Now granted, I mean, it's not a huge amount because this is a brief game. You can only have so much in the character powers, but it is great. I love that fact. Another thing, I love the fact that this game has given me headache. I mean, you know, like those laughter headaches. Because I'm just saying, you're going to have people, including me, who's going to lie straight to your face and tell you, hey, I'm your deputy, sheriff. I wouldn't betray you. And behind that smile is going to be me being an outlaw ready to gun you down the minute you believe me. And I'm telling you, I've seen so many people in this game. I've seen the most introverted people bust out and become some of the most extroverted in this game. And they are sitting there, they're having a raucous good time, especially if they're outlaws. I remember one game night in particular, a good buddy of mine, I'm not going to say his name, but he knows who he is, you know who you are. Anyway, we had a sheriff, and here's the thing, the relationship between the sheriff and my buddy, they're good friends, and they rib each other all the time. And so, of course, the sheriff is not going to believe my buddy too easily because he knows him very well. He thinks he probably lied to him. But I'm going to tell you what, this boy, there was a sheriff, there was someone else at the table, and then there was my buddy, and the other two, both of them were saying, hey, I'm your deputy. And my buddy was turning in basically an Oscar-winning performance. I mean, we were pretty much convinced he was the last deputy standing, and it was between him and this other person trying to convince that one guy, hey, I am your deputy. I've given you beer this whole game to fill up your life points, which, by the way, is another one of my favorite things. It's just, come on now. That's so goofy, but in this game, you can say that. But he's sitting there saying this, and ultimately, my friend, or the sheriff, decides to go ahead and off my friend, and my friend goes, well, that was a waste of a good lie, and he turns his card over, and he was like a renegade or an outlaw or something. And it was hilarious, and the way he delivered it, because my friend's so deadpan in his delivery when he jokes, the way he delivered it was killing everybody watching it. We were just dying, almost rolling on the floor laughing because it was so, again, it was a performance that he could have won an Oscar for. So anyway, it's those kind of things, it's those kind of moments that this just brings out of you. And so, yeah, do I recommend this game? Absolutely. I think you're going to absolutely love this game if you like hidden role games. And again, a lot of hidden role games I've played don't have dice in them. And that's another thing I love about it. So, caveat though. Here's a caveat. There may be some people who have a problem with the player elimination because you're going to get knocked out at some point. Now, it isn't that big of an issue for us, in my game group, but I've heard of some game groups that have had this problem. The fact is, for us, I think because the game is so brief and we want to play it again so quickly, it typically is not an issue. But that is something to keep in mind. And also, and I'm going to say this, for the kids out there, lying is wrong. But in the context of a game, I think it's something that you can work through. You know what I mean? Because I do have some friends of mine that they struggle to lie. And that's a great trait. That's a wonderful thing. I don't like to lie to people in normal life. But in a game, in the context of the setting, it's something to keep in mind, right? It's something to keep in mind that in normal life you really wouldn't want to do that. But in a game, we're having fun. We're having fun. It's not serious. But I like I said, this may be something you might possibly face. I don't know. I don't know who you game with. Again, there's some people I know that do have a problem with lying. And it can tend to break the game, but not really. Like I've got friends of mine who don't like to lie. They'll be like, I'm the outlaw. Immediately. They're not even hiding. I'm the outlaw, sheriff. I'm going to kill you. Bang! And so it's funny when it happens, but again, keep that in mind. That is a possibility, and that can happen with any hidden role game, any traitor game. So I give this game, and my rating system's kind of strange. I'm still kind of developing it, a full beard. Full beard basically means 2 thumbs up. Okay? It is an awesome, awesome game. I really think you should go out and buy it. And again, my opinion's subjective, right? But I'm telling you, I have never seen this game go wrong. Thank you so much for watching the Dice Odyssey videos. That's going to be all for me. I'm Kasman, your sheriff. And hey, how about you? What is your favorite hidden role game? Have you ever played Bang the Dice game? What did you think of it? Please let me know in the comments. And again, thanks so much for watching. You have a blessed day, and game away.